Hey, today I actually have a person with me instead of just being by myself, alone in my apartment. Um, and today's guest is Vancouver-based comic. His credits include the Fox TV show Laughs, and he's appeared on SiriusXM Top Comic 4 times. He's got a podcast called Son of Smiley, and his 2 albums with the Weirdo Whisperer and Canasian. He's been described as smart and funny by Louis Anderson, and really, fucking, what more endorsement do you need? Um, and has been called part of a new generation of Asian stand-up comedians by the Taipei Times. Please welcome Ed Hill.
Thanks for having me, Taylor. You did your homework. Holy crap.
I not as much as I should have, really. But do you mind if I'm gonna hold it in the middle because
How far does the mic needs to be?
that's about okay. I can always
I'll lean forward.
I can always boost things up, but I didn't have a lot of room in my bag to bring much anything good.
I just
So
don't want people to get confused. They're like,
fair enough. I can play with it.
Okay.
I know.
I'm assuming you're editing it, so.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could have done more, but I at least need. I gotta fucking have something to talk about. So it's like, who are you
Sure,
and what are you doing? So, now you came to Canada from Taipei, Taiwan, ostensibly on a vacation.
My dad told me we were going on vacation.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know better.
Yeah.
So I was writing letters back home to my friends at school, sending Christmas cards. And none of them wrote anything back because they knew I was gone forever.
Oh, really?
I thought I was going on vacation and going back. And so ended up, going to high school.
Yeah.
Going to college,
Jesus.
all that stuff. So,
how long ago was it? 20?
when I was 10, so that's 22 years ago.
Holy
so I'm 32
shit.
now, so
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So how did they know that, but you didn't at that point?
I have no idea. Like I said, I'm oblivious to most things.
Okay, fair enough.
Like this show, I don't even know what the show is about until
It's really
I
not
got
worth
here.
knowing. Who is it? I don't care. So, Jesus, you're here since you. So, how did you get into and how did you start doing stand up?
I took a class.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took a class that's actually locally offered. It's the Laughter Zone 101.
Oh, yeah.
Before it wasn't called
Yeah.
anything like that. It was just Janice was running a class.
Okay.
I was in university at the time, went to SFU, so I was seems interesting. I'll give it a try, and went in there, did my thing, and rest is history.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck, man. So that had been about. God, how long ago would that
That's
have been?
like 8 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Really, that recently?
Yeah.
Wow. For some reason, I thought would have thought it would have been a lot longer ago, but.
No, I'm not that old.
I read, God, I guess on one of your blogs on your site, you were listening to old serious clips and you're kind of cringing at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think I think every comic doesn't like watching their own tapes or
yeah,
listening to their own recordings, and because we're always trying to better ourselves.
yeah,
Every show, we're trying to try new stuff, better tags here and there. So it's tough.
yeah,
Part of it, but you have to do it because that's how you improve.
yeah. This isn't really, no shit, this isn't stand up, but like I do eventually have to listen to myself to make sure I edit things or get levels properly. So it's like it took me a weird amount of time to get over just hearing my voice.
Yeah. And you don't sound like how you think you sound like.
No,
right?
no.
You think you sound like a gentleman, you turn on, you're like, who's this gargoyle?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
mumbling through this space.
I'm pretty sure I've said that to myself.
Yeah.
And I read why that is. Do you know why?
I have no idea.
It's because when you hear yourself from inside your head. The bones in your head actually make your voice more bassy than it actually is.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. So here, all this time, I thought I sounded like kind of cool, but no, I sound like you hear me right now.
You sound just fine. So does every woman think they have super bassy voice?
Not super, but lower than it actually is.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
It bothered me because I heard a recording of myself a few years ago, and I was like, Why?
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. But you said something that was apparent. You always had kind of like a sense of who you were. That was consistent.
Yeah. Well,
If
I wrote that post. It was right after, I think, like 3 or 4 days after the American election.
okay.
So I mean, it's a time of a lot of. I think the real results wasn't what people expected,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of fear, of change. Regardless what's gonna be, people are always wary of change.
Yeah.
I myself was a little shocked of the election results.
Yeah. I
Thinking
don't.
we're in a different world now, but apparently there's. I mean, people vote for who they want to vote for. I'm not gonna judge.
Sure.
So I mean, it's kind of. I work a lot in the States too, so it's kind of turbulent type of feeling
Mm-hmm.
to see that type of result. And also as a person of immigrant descent, it's kind of fearful.
Yeah.
Um, but then that was, I was at the same time, I just took some time to organize some stuff. I just, I was took the time just to slow things down. I was, organizing these Sirius XM clips,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's, the revelation came. That's why I posted. Is I realized, you know, all through these different times, something has happened in the world. You know, life is never perfect. It has never been perfect. But I have only thing that has been consistent is I've stayed true to who I am in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So if I just stay true, everything will be fine.
You've always been honest. Like that's the thing that I like about. Um, you don't have to be, right or above the audience or something. But as long as you're, don't worry about it. As long as you're being honest about who you are and what you think, that's kind of, I don't know, is close to success as you can be. I don't know.
Yeah,
If you can make a living being yourself, I guess.
well, I guess at the end of the day, the last person you're gonna face is yourself, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so if you can accept the person in the mirror, it's gonna be a long day,
Yeah, you kind of have to.
right?
You're kind of stuck traveling with yourself. So if you don't like yourself, you're kind
You
of
know,
shitty company.
makes your self relief sessions really painful.
You said you work a lot in the States, and I looked at your like your tour schedule and everything like that, and holy shit, yeah, you do. Does it make things, since you mentioned the election, do you ever feel like awkward or uncomfortable? Is there a different atmosphere now being there?
Um, my material is not necessarily political, so I
Mhm.
don't evoke that type of response. Um, I mean, prior to the election, I've done shows in the South
Sure.
and Deep South. We're talking about like Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. So people that I mean, there were people at the show that were part of the Klan. They were wearing the vest. They had the haircut. They had the patches.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there a Klan haircut?
I think it's just no hair.
Oh, okay.
Exactly
The
the same
skinhead.
haircut I got. So,
You're in disguise.
so yeah, and I mean, so I don't think there's gonna be too big of a difference for me before and after. I always gotta be cautious. Always been cautious.
Yeah.
And I talked about this before. Is before I go into a new city, what I'll type in on Google is the name of the city
Yeah.
and racism. And I look for the top three hits. If
Yeah.
the top three hits are no good,
Yeah.
then I'm just gonna stay in the condo or the hotel for the entire time.
Fair enough.
You don't need to plug your power back in.
Is it even out?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, the. Oh, thank you. So, what do you do that for Vancouver as well?
Oh,
Do you have a
Vancouver's
different-
very diverse. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like the major cities: Vancouver, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. Those cities are okay.
Yeah.
Some people say, how people say there's a Bible Belt in the States?
Yeah.
There's, the truth is there's no Bible Belt. The whole United States is Bible Belt, and
Yeah.
those major cities just holes in the belt.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
it is.
Those are the notches.
Yeah. Because even in Washington, Seattle's super progressive. You drive like 4 hours to Spokane on the east side, and you're in white nationalist country. You're like, what
Yeah, that's
happened?
true. Yeah. Just
That's
4
the-
years ago, or 4 years, 4 hours ago was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Your
But people are people. I mean,
yeah.
I think a lot of it is ignorance, and that's That's why it doesn't really happen to me. Because when I go up there, I tell my story, and they understand like, oh, he's just, he's just a person who with a different upbringing, but we all want the same things.
Yeah.
Because the fears I talk about is the same fears anybody else would have. So, yeah.
It's funny how we want. I don't remember who was talking about it, but it's like we all, in the end, kind of want the same things and have the same goals, but just people's directions to them can be so radically different, and people's how they see that their prism is so
Yeah. And I think people get scared.
yeah
They're scared of the things they don't know.
yeah
And, when you're scared, first thing you do is either you attack or you ignore, right?
fair enough. Your tweets have been that's a pretty fucking good segue. Your tweets have been featured on among other places BuzzFeed and Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, there are a lot of people who a lot of people love Fallon. A lot of people will trash him, as much as the people who love him do. And I myself may have made an episode or two about not liking him or whatever.
Right.
Did you ever have an opinion change or something when he gave that kind of softball or whatever interview with Trump? Because I know a lot of people were disappointed, but I was just kind of, well, what do you expect? He's
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna give a super sharp political commentary
No.
in front of a presidential candidate. I think Fallon, a lot of people don't like him. You have to look at there's different perspective looking at the situation. If you look at it from a comic writer's perspective,
Yeah.
like I write a lot, and I do a lot of comedy writing. Either it's for stand up or for shows and stuff like that. Definitely Fallon's writing, and it's not just him. I think it's his writers too.
Sure.
Is more driven towards, I think, I don't want to say lowest common denominator, but probably the most easily digested.
Sure, to try and appeal.
Because even the tweets that he selected, that pick that I made, I realized it was a pattern, and I from looking at the tweets he selects, as a writer, I look at it. He will select things that are more humorous to a average family.
Yeah.
But if you have a sort of an edge, or you have more, the humor is more niche, then he won't take it.
Yeah.
And that's the writer's decision, because I'm sure the writer's reviewing these tweets, looking at what's the broadest appeal.
Sure.
So I think that's if you look at it from that perspective, and a lot of comics, of course, is going to go like, well, that's trash. I mean, that's because to us, when you have something that's too relatable, or too overdone, it's hack.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at it from an entertainment perspective, it's great, because he's reaching to people who may not necessarily know what a tweet is, may not necessarily know what comedy is.
Yeah.
So
Who may never even watch him regularly. Right. Yeah.
So that's then that's just the two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And for me, I personally, my favorite late night right now is Colbert, because I think his writer are the sharpest.
Mm-hmm.
He gives the best commentary, but that's my preference. You know what I mean? I know. I mean, I have family members who are not avid comedy fans, and they love Fallon.
Yeah.
And they just that's something that, because after after a long day at work, nobody wants to sit there and break down the structure of a joke, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're not comics, so I get it. And so there's you have to look at that from that perspective. So is he shit? Is he genius? I don't know. I mean, that's up to the individual to decide. But he's not starving.
No, that's
So,
definitely true. I interviewed a musician a few weeks back, and he was kind of talking about that same thing about the legitimacy of art or whatever.
Yeah.
And where it's like, okay, bands however many years ago, Led Zeppelin or whatever, may have been objectively better, or X band does X record because of X reason. But is it any more valid than somebody like a pop star like Justin Bieber or something, when a fan like a kid would say, their music helped me through some tough times.
Yeah.
It's something that people
Well, I
have,
think art is subjective, right?
yeah.
So it's I I don't know. I used to focus on this a lot. I like, oh, that show is shit. This sucks. That's better. Why are we wasting? And you just become this elitist in some way,
Yeah.
even though if you don't want to be. So I think the thing is I don't waste my time on that anymore. If you don't like something, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Go write a better show. Go write something that you like. Go create something. Contribute to it rather than just sit there and judge and hoping the world will change because
Because I
you
bitched about
hate it
Riverdale.
just a little more.
Yeah. If only we could.
Yeah.
Do you, speaking of art being subjective, what is your, I mean, this is kind of a pat question, but what is your, do you have a favorite comedy special?
Like ultimate special.
Top three, top one?
Well, I think I
Okay.
talked about it recently in this the Georgia Strait interview that John Crenny's doing the time I bombed. So my top three is the Louis C.K. Hilarious,
Yeah.
Chris Rock's, of course, Bring the Pain, and last one is the Mike Birbiglia Sleepwalk with Me. I
Okay.
recently discovered an album that I actually really enjoy. It's actually really good. I just stumbled upon it because I listen to a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
It was Chad Daniels' new album. What's it called? Something on the Moon.
You walk the moon?
Yeah,
or
Walk
something?
the
Yeah,
Moon.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was amazing. That was an amazing album.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, but I haven't heard it yet.
That was one of the best album I've heard recently.
Yeah.
So
Well, speaking of John Craney's, that time I bombed, do you have a bombing story that you like to tell, or that is just interesting to you,
I mean,
or any road story
we
really?
bomb all the time. Well, this is one I haven't told. Is we did a 3-city tour, Seattle, Portland, and I think Vancouver one time. It was 3 comics, one from San Francisco, one from Boston. Vancouver went well. Seattle one went well. I went to Portland, and what we did is we rented these small theaters, so we promoted the shows ourselves. So we got there, and we got the venue. It was half an hour before showtime, and no one was there. Like, no one showed up to the show, and we're really confused because Seattle was packed, Vancouver's packed. It was like, what happened in Portland? So we went to the owner, who we coordinated the dates with, and he said, oh, I don't know what happened. So he put up the website. He posted the date of the show for the day after.
No.
So it was the wrong date.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we'll just cancel then because no one's going to show up. Fine, doesn't matter because we can't do the date after. All of us have other dates we got to go to. And then one person showed up. One loyal fan checked the didn't check the theater website.
Yeah.
They went through our outlet.
No.
So he came, he paid, and we had to do the show. We had to do
Yeah.
the full show just for one person. And of course, it was awkward, but we had to do it because the guy came and he wanted to see the show. We didn't want to disappoint him, and it was just a private show, 3 people. There's more comics audience, one audience in the middle.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and then the bartender.
Did he have festival seating, or did he have a assigned seat? Did he have to sit up in the balcony?
No, he sat very front. I mean, he had a great time.
Yeah.
But it was just it was so. As a comedian, it was just so painful,
Oh my god.
because it was a totally different energy, and you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
And we did the full show. We did the whole 90-minute show.
Holy
Yeah, each of us did 30 minutes.
God, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That, like, I'm still just amateur open mic comic, and of course you start doing kind of less than ideal gigs or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just beginner stuff. And I've done rooms where there've been a few, or just that. But fuck, I've never had one.
One person, yeah.
At least you have one good fan. One really good fan.
That's the worst. I mean, an open mic, if you have a few people who didn't know there was a show,
Yeah.
but they knew it was at least the mentality is different, right? There's no sense of, oh, if I fuck up, then I just fuck up.
Yeah.
It's the setting explains the result. But
Sure.
when you're in a place where you put on the show, you advertised it, and then the venue messes up, and you have one person who's coming who's really looking forward to it. Now you gotta do it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Well, hey, he's dedicated, and you got to
We
fucking.
had to
great
refund
job.
a whole bunch of tickets, so that was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Oh my
people
God.
did buy tickets, and but they thought it was the day after. You
Yeah.
just call them and say, "Can you come now?"
Yeah, yeah.
Can we just
Get
do this
everybody's
now?
phone number and
Yeah.
did the venue pay you back?
The
at all,
venue
or
gave
did-
us back
Okay.
the rental. Yeah.
Yeah.
They understood.
Okay, that's good on their end anyway.
Because they printed the posters the right dates, but the
Oh, okay.
online.
Yeah,
So I guess people went with the online usually because they go like, "Oh, the post probably made a mistake."
yeah.
So,
The poster's old, so maybe it's
Yeah.
changed. Oh, okay, yeah. Jesus, dude. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. You all have already given me 20 minutes. The website is King Ed Hill. Is that a King of the Hill reference, or you just want to add King?
Okay, this I talk about this all the time. Every podcast is going on.
Because either way, I
When
like
I
it.
started,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be hilarious if I put King in front of my name because there's a street in Vancouver called King Edward.
Okay,
And I
yeah,
thought people would be like, "Oh, King Edward," and it's hilarious. It's a play on word.
yeah.
And I realized that most people in the world don't even know where King Edward is, and most people in Vancouver don't know the street King Edward. So now I just look like an egotistical dickhead. So
I don't know. I think it works. Because
I get
honestly,
people ask me like, "Are you from a line of royalty?" I'm like, "No, I'm from a line of idiots. This is an idiotic decision."
Is this a line of poor decision makers? I thought it was King of the Hill reference, but I like King Ed, so King Ed Hill.
Well,
So fuck it.
hopefully.
Now you have
Maybe
two
I'll go
loyal.
with that one.
It's kingedhill.com and at kingedhill on Twitter. It's got tour dates, clips, photos, and the Son of Smiley podcast. Do you want to give a quick explanation of
I
what's...
did that podcast mainly just for myself. I used to have an old podcast called X's Forever. It's still on iTunes.
Right.
We got about 22 episodes where we interview people about their ex.
Mhm.
And the end of it, Jeff Penner, who's an improv, comedian, and I will, have them make one of four decisions. Either they call their ex and bury the hatchet, they call the in-law, or like the parent of the ex,
Yeah.
or they call a friend who knew the situation, or they have a minute to say whatever they want to the ex, and they
Yeah.
have to, from the bottom of their heart.
Yeah.
So that went from 22 episodes until my co-host was going through a relational issue himself, so it came too close to home.
Yeah.
So we stopped it. And
Hi.
hey, Susie.
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. Is that as high as they go up?
I think so.
Jeez. Yeah.
But
We had to greet the person coming in.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But then the
sake of
new
content.
podcast is mainly for me. It's only 10 to 12 minutes
Okay.
because I tell a little story that happened in my life that either to do with my dad or myself.
Yeah.
And it's just like a personal diary for me, but it's a cute little story, sometimes sad, sometimes funny.
Cool.
Something that's, I can remember
Okay.
when
Yeah.
I'm older.
Well, do you want to plug some of your dates coming up?
I don't remember any of my dates is coming up, so go to my
I-
website and check it out.
I also remember Chicago in there somewhere. So
Oh, yeah, I'll
He's-
be at the Comedy Bar in March sometime. Probably second week in Chicago. If
Okay.
you want to come out, come on out.
you heard it here. March sometime in
I don't
Chicago.
even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Whatever you want. I don't remember if there was a date tomorrow. it?
Just go on my website.
Go to fucking
Tweet
kingedhill.
me,
or tweet 'em.
I'll find something. I'll find out.
And
I'll
ask
tweet
'em.
back.
Okay, dude. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for reaching out to me and
Yeah, well,
asking,
thanks for having
because
me.
I really find it uncomfortable asking people to be on it. So
Cool.
you did the job for me.
Well, I'm glad to be on it.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
man.
having me. Yeah.
Thanks.